Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got for you my makeup collection. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's just get on with it. So the first drawer, which is this one up here, contains foundations, primers, concealers and powders along the side here. So I like to keep my collection fairly, this is obviously way too much, but fairly minimal so that I don't get completely out of control and have way too many products to use up. So the foundations that I have is this one here from Dior. It's the Backstage foundation. I've got the Max Factor Face Vanity All Day Flawless, which is an old favourite of mine. The Collection Primed and Ready, which I've nearly used up. The MAC Studio Fix foundation, which I think is probably my favourite foundation. And then this is my It CC cream, which is probably my day-to-day base. Absolutely love this. And then this is the Beauty Blender I'm currently using. I kind of clean it every 2 or 3 days. So this is kind of in due of a clean, but that just lives here. Primers live at the back here, apart from this one, which has to stay upright because it's very nearly finished. And this is the L'Oreal Infallible Magic Essence Drops. But over here we have the e.l.f. Mineral Infused Primer, the NYX Honeydew Primer, the Rimmel Lasting Finish Makeup Primer, and then a little tiny travel size Smashbox Photo Finish. Concealers, I tend to keep like the more kind of sticky tube concealers in here. And then I have this one, which is the L'Oreal Pomade Concealer, which I love to use throughout the day if I need to just like touch up because I've rubbed foundation off my nose or whatever it is, so that lives there. But my main concealer collection is at the back here. I have quite a lot of the Collection Lasting Perfections in various packaging. I have the L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer, the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, Cover FX Cream Concealer. So that's my concealer collection. It does me fine. I'd say the Collection Lasting Perfections kind of my day-to-day concealer. Then along the side here is where my powders live. So I've got the Revlon Candid Powder. Probably wouldn't repurchase this, but I am enjoying using it. I've got the Rimmel Stay Matte and the Soap & Glory One Heck of a Blot. And then I've got my RCMA, the original No Colour Powder. This one hasn't actually been opened yet because it's a repurchase, but I will definitely get around to using it. And then at the back here, because I don't use it every single day, is my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Drawer 2 holds in it face palettes, blushes, bronzers and highlighters. So this is kind of like the face colour drawer, if you want to call it that. So I keep all of my palettes along the front here. So I've got the Sleek Contouring and Blush palette. This is pretty much an old-time favourite. I have the Smashbox Contour Kit. I have here the Huda Beauty Winter Highlight Palette, which I love. I've got the Too Faced Natural Face Palette, which smells delicious. And then I've got the Revlon Sculpt and Highlight Palette, which I love the bronzers in this. They're just really beautiful. And then I've got my Stila Perfect Me Perfect Hue palette, which has some beautiful blushes in it as well as a little eyeshadow quad. And then my favourite travel palette, which is the Charlotte Tilbury 5-minute face in a palette, or whatever this thing's called, which is just a firm favourite. And then along the side here is where I keep my L'Oreal Infallible Blush Paints palettes. I've got the Ambers collection and the Pink collection. I love these blushes. They make perfect blushes as well as like really nice pink eyeshadows. I've got a handful of blushes along here. I have a mini California blush, a little Pixie blush, 2 blushes from Tarte, which I'm really loving. My L'Oreal Life's a Peach. This is the Soap & Glory Glow All Out, which is a really nice kind of blush topper. And then of course we have my NARS Orgasm blush. Bronzers back here. I've recently fallen in love, well not recently, in the last kind of 2 years, fallen in love with quite a lot of bronzers. So they're kind of collecting down here. I've got 2 of the Body Shop Honey bronzers because one's pretty much finished, so I've got a backup. I've got the Butter bronzer. I've got my cream bronzer, which is Larizzi, which if I want to do a bit of cream contouring, this one is gorgeous. I've also got the Max Factor Creme Bronzer, which is probably my favourite one. I've got a little tiny of the Hoola Bronzer. And then I've got the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Bronzer, which is a new one and I'm really enjoying it. My highlighters live at the back here, so I've got this one here which is actually discontinued, but I've kept hold of it because I love it. It's the Rosie for Autograph loose highlighter. I've got two of these by mistake. This is the Wet n Wild highlight powder in the shade Blossom Glow. I've got the Revolution highlighter which has a stunning pan. This is the Lustre highlighter in White Rose, and really enjoying that. This is the highlighter I'm trying to hit pan on. It's the Sleek Solstice palette. Very nearly finished this one. Don't really touch the other shades much, but... And then the newest addition to my collection is a mini Ofra Rodeo Drive, which is just adorable. Next up is my eye drawer, and it also has some nail polishes at the back there, as well as a bit of kind of nail care down the side. I actually really like how this drawer is laid out this time. I used to absolutely hate it, but I think I've kind of got to where I like the layout. So over here is where I keep mascaras. I've got the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I've got the, what's this called? Maybelline Great Lash in the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes, and the Too Faced Better Than Sex. And then I very nearly finished up the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara. The next tray along just has tools in it, so I've got eyelash curlers, I've got a nail file, some tweezers, nail cutters, scissors, all those kind of things that you need kind of beauty tool related. Next up is brows. I keep this kind of quite limited because I kind of work my way through them quite quickly. My favourite brow pencil of all time at the moment is the Max Factor Brow Shaper Ultra Fine Shape Fill Define. So I've gone through countless number of these, so I have two as a backup. I have my trusty Benefit Gimme Brow, as well as a clear brow gel, which is just a Revolution one. And then at the back here is where I keep kind of liquid eyeliners and two of my smaller palettes. So I've got the Huda Warm Brown Obsessions palette, as well as my NARS Isolde Duo. Got a couple of liquid eyeliners here. So this one is Ico. I've got one of the Benefit Roller Lashes, a few liquid eyeliners here from NYX. Super Cat eyeliner. This one's Collection Fast Stroke. This one is from L'Oreal. I love these sleek eye art pencils. I've got the blue one and the purple one. And then, can you have a makeup collection without the Collection Glam crystals? Probably not. So yeah, these just live in this component at the back here. And as I said, right at the back is where nail polishes live, as well as along the side here is where I keep things like nail polish remover, my nail oil. This is a spot brush cleanser, and they're my kind of nail sample things. So this is the third drawer. Sorry if the sound's changed slightly. I've had to kind of move where I am so I can actually reach down. So I keep my kind of smaller palettes here. So I have my Beauty Bay Pastels palette, which so pretty, as well as the Tartelette Toasted palette. This is by Nip and Fab. I have my Narcissist palette, which I need to remember to keep using that. I've got one of the e.l.f. palette. This is the Mad for Mattes palette. I've got two of the Gosh palettes. I think Gosh is such an underrated like drugstore makeup brand. I've got one of the mini Zoeva palettes. This one here, it's a Max Factor palette. This shade here, oh, it's so pretty. And then I've got a NYX Ultimate Edit palette and a Wet n Wild palette. Along the side here are a few more favourites. So I've got two of the Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Modern Renaissance, and back here is the Soft Glam. This is my MAC palette where you kind of pick your own shades and pop it in a palette together. I have the Zoeva Cocoa Blends palette, which, as I'm sure you can see, has had quite a bit of love. The Soph X Revolution palette, this is the second one. The Luna Beauty palette, oh, this is so pretty. Of course, I've got to have an Urban Decay Naked palette. I love the heat. And then this is the Born to Run palette, which is such an underrated palette, and I kind of almost forget I own it sometimes, but it's beautiful. At the back here I keep slightly bigger palettes, but aren't like, you know, full-size massive ones. So I've got the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk, which is relatively new to me. I've got the MUA, I think this is called Burning Embers. Yes, Burning Embers palette. Watch me candidly open it. Such just like gorgeous everyday shades. I've got the Barry M Analingus palette, which is still quite new in my collection. Some really pretty shades. Pigmented and gorgeous. They do have quite a bit of fallout, which is kind of annoying. This is the Masquerade Mini by Juvia's Place. And then the Nude Spectrum by Zoeva. And then at the back here is where I keep like slightly ridiculously large palettes. So I've got the Violet Voss palette, some stunning shades in there. And then of course this is where my Morphe palettes have to live. So I've got the Jaclyn Hill palette, which mine looks battered as anything, as well as a new palette to me, which is the Morphe and James Charles palette. So I think mine actually looks pretty much untouched because, like I said, it's brand new in my collection. I used to think the Jaclyn Hill palette was big. And then very at the back here is the Beauty Bay Evolve palette, which I think this is the old packaging. By the way, it's a really, really pretty palette, so yeah. Up here is where I keep lipsticks, lip liners. There's a few empty drawers at the end for my collection to kind of expand into, a few kind of hair care bits and makeup brushes at the top. I'm not going to go through my makeup brushes in that much detail because I kind of find makeup brushes the most boring bit of makeup, to be honest. They're just kind of practical. But my eyeshadow brushes live in the Sakura pot, which is from IKEA. And then my face brushes live in this bigger pot, which I think is from a charity shop, but it holds makeup brushes really, really well. These storage things are just from Amazon, so if I remember I'll try link them down below for you. I have kind of 2 drawer ones and 3 drawer ones at the end there. Really handy, I like to be able to see what I own. So these first drawers over here and this drawer here hold kind of bullet lipsticks. So in this top drawer here, I have my 3 MAC lipsticks as well as my Illamasqua lipstick. Here is where I hold all of my kind of drugstore makeup as well as a drawer below. So this is Bourjois lipsticks and these 2 are Rimmel lipsticks. These are probably my favourite kind of drugstore ones along with the Revlon ones over here. And then I have 3 of the Maybelline lipsticks just in like 3 colours you'd everyday need. And then at the bottom here is kind of dribs and drabs and randoms. So I've got 2 lipsticks here from Gosh, a Lipstick Queen lipstick, which is this kind of really interesting green shade that comes out pink on your lips. I've got a lip balm by Stila, a Fenty Beauty lipstick, which by God are these pigmented, and then a L'Oreal High Shine lipstick in a red colour. Up here is where I store all of my lip liners. So as you can see, I mainly have the sleek ones, the Rimmel ones, and then there's a few others like a Revlon and a Model Co. I think that's it. This is the drawer where I store all the kind of randoms that I use, but what category do they really fit into? So I've got lip oil here from L'Oreal. I've got a little Pixie lip gloss, which is actually the only lip gloss I own. I've got a few lip balms in here, like the Burt's Bees, the Nivea. This is an incredible Jelly Shot, which is sort of a lip balm. This is a Dr. Lip Tint, which is a tinted lip balm. I've got the Lip Coat lip topper and then a tiny little lip pencil here, which is the NYX Simply Red. Probably my favourite drugstore lipsticks at the moment. These are the Revlon matte lipsticks. So I have quite a few different shades in here, but these are kind of my favourites right now. Down here is a dud drawer. Randomly, I've got some Lavissa earrings in here, as well as a memory card that snapped on my move. So I'm trying to work out what to do with it, but... Now this is my tower of liquid lipsticks. I'm such a fan of a liquid lipstick. I find they last so long, so I have quite a lot of them. In this drawer up here, I have 2 of the sleek ones. I've got one of the Matte Me's and the Matte Me Metallics, as well as one of the NYX Powder Puff Lippies and 2 of the Wet n Wild liquid catsuits. This drawer here has a Dose of Colours liquid matte lipstick, one of the Revlon Hyper Matte lip mousses, and this is a L'Oreal Ultra Matte Le Macron liquid lipstick. Now these are probably my favourite liquid lipsticks. So they're the L'Oreal Rouge, can't remember what they're called because it annoyingly doesn't say on the packaging. So I've got the matte ones and then this is kind of one of the high shine ones. They are so pigmented and so long lasting and the colours are really quite fun and interesting. Got a few more lipsticks here. So I've got a Huda Beauty one, a Gosh, Nip and Fab, and this is one of the only liquid lipsticks I've ever repurchased. It's the Ofra long lasting liquid lipstick in the shade Charmed. So I've had that both in the old and the new Ofra packaging. And then the very last of my lipsticks is this one, which is just kind of like a random drawer of things that kind of fitted in here. So this one here is a Smashbox liquid lipstick. I've got a little NARS one. This is a Lip Jam, I think, by Truffle Cosmetics, and a Bourjois liquid lipstick. Annoyingly, Bourjois is kind of gone from the UK at the moment, but I really love their lip items, so I'm keeping hold of it for as long as it stays in date for, but when it goes out of date, I don't think I can get my hands on it anymore. And that is how I store my lipsticks. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed having a look through everything I have in my makeup collection. It's been a collection I've been building for some time, which is why it's a little bit mental, but otherwise, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, all of that jazz, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!